Welcome back to Wayland Sports Broadcasting. I'm Sarah Rice, and today for our one-on-one interviews, I'm here with Coach Jason Tassonari.
Sarah, good to be here.
Glad to have you, Jason. So, what led you to coaching at Wayland?
Well, that could be a story that could take us a while, but it's been a very rewarding journey. It's been a fun journey for me. It's probably common knowledge that soccer has been my main sport for my professional life. I've been a college soccer coach for many years and still remain active in the sport. And when I was coaching club soccer this past winter, two of the players on my club soccer team was Missy Prince and Abby Raftery. And both of those names I think are pretty familiar around here because they both played soccer and just graduated this past year from Wayland. And they kind of knew when they were younger that I had played tennis. I don't know how it came up. One day we had soccer practice and we were talking about different sports, and when I had mentioned that I had played tennis, and I know we'll get into that soon, Missy and Abby would bust my chops and tell me they could always beat me in tennis if we ever played. And we never really played, but in February of this past year, Missy and Abby said that there was a tennis coaching position open at Wayland and would I be interested in doing it. Now, I live in Plymouth, Mass. on the South Shore, so it's not the easiest trip in the world.
Definitely not.
Particularly with weather like we're having today.
Yeah.
And so I went home and talked to my wife about it and talked to my daughter and said, would you guys be okay if I coached tennis? I had done it years ago, many years ago, and my wife said, sure, go for it. And that led to me coaching in the spring, my first season at Wayland. And then Principal Mizuguchi and I really made a great connection. She's been a great friend of mine. We had several conversations, and she asked if I wanted to be more active in the school in addition to coaching, and asked if I would be interested in being in the special ed department and being a teacher assistant. And that was kind of where I had a little bit of a career and life pivot, where I decided that it was a good fit for me. I love the community, I love the school, love the kids, love the people I work with. And so that simple discussion of my tennis past with Missy and Abby led to me becoming the coach and has now led to me being here full time.
Amazing. I'm glad we have you here.
Well, I love it. It's been great. Thank you.
Well, what got you into playing tennis while you were growing up?
Well, by no means will I ever tell you that I'm some sort of Roger Federer of tennis or some tennis savant, okay?
Yes.
But I did grow up in Plymouth, where I live now, and obviously soccer was a big part of my life. I played soccer in college and in high school and played semi-professionally down the Cape until I had some knee issues. But I did start playing tennis when I was 8 years old. My dad would take me down the street to play in my hometown, and we would hit around. And I always enjoyed the sport. It was quite a different pace. It was more of an individual type sport for me, which I liked because it was a different change of pace from soccer, where it's a little bit more of a team thing. And played it in high school, had some success. Now, I was an athlete that played tennis. I was not a tennis person that played, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't this type of person that was a tennis person. I was just able to pick up the sport pretty quickly and also played basketball in high school. So I was busy with sports, didn't have a lot of time off. And I wasn't on the most talented tennis team at Plymouth North High School. So I ended up playing #1 singles for 4 years, which sounds great, except I got my butt kicked all the time because I would always play the other team's best player.
That's hard.
And that was not easy. So I was always trying to find the silver lining, but it was fun. I played for 4 years, really enjoyed the sport. It was kind of a nice, relaxing sport for me, more individualistic, and it was a nice change of pace from the soccer in the fall and the basketball that I played in the winter.
Definitely different, yes.
Very much so.
Yeah. So last year was your first season coaching here. How do you think last year went? I
think last year went tremendous. I mean, I guess I could ask you that question too. We could reverse our roles here.
I love it.
It was so much fun,
yes.
Well, it went great for me because I had great people like you. And having you back next year is something I'm excited about.
I'm ready.
Last year was a year for me where I came in and I think the program didn't necessarily need a tennis coach.
Yeah.
They needed a coach.
Definitely.
And that's what my strengths are, you know.
Yeah.
And when I met with Mr. Rollins about the job, I asked him what the program needed. And he said they needed some direction. They needed a coach to come in and work on team chemistry that could make solid coaching decisions. And that's not a shot at the previous coach. It's just what he told me the program needed. And it just so happened that I had coached tennis many years ago and I had played it. So I had that background along with my coaching instincts that I think helped. And, you know, I kind of eased my way into it, got to know the players pretty well. And
Yes.
it's a different sport to coach. There's, you know, a whole different rhythm to it. So I wanted to develop the trust of the players first, have them know that I was concerned about them as people first and student athletes. And then it was a matter of getting to know each player on an individual basis and starting to break down who was who and what their particular strengths and weaknesses were and do a ranking system.
Yeah.
And also find the right assistant coach, which luckily I did with
Yes.
Erin Lehman, who I'm very thankful and lucky to have. You know, we were about 500. We were 6-7, but we played a very tough schedule. We played many Division I teams, so our record wasn't reflective of how good we were. And, you know, we ended up finishing 6th in the Massachusetts rankings for Division II, which was great. We made it to the Sweet 16 before we lost to Westboro. But we were very competitive, a very strong group, but it was a group that had an awful lot of moral fiber, if you will. Great kids,
Yes.
great people that welcomed me to the program and made the transition very easy for me.
Yeah. Definitely felt like a real community this year.
I think so too, and that's
Yes.
important to me.
So with everything you learned from last season, do you have any ideas of what your plans are for this upcoming
I
season?
mean, I've got to give you all my secrets.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Well, I feel like I can put a little bit more of my imprint on the program now that I've been
Definitely,
here
yeah.
and now that I know the players and I know what works and what doesn't work. Some of those things are still evolving as we sit here right before Christmas and we're still several months away.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think there's going to be more of a community outreach that's going to happen. I know we did the Jimmy Fun Walk
Yes.
as a group, which I thought was outstanding, but we will do
was-
some more community service things around the town. And I think some of the nuts and bolts of the program are going to change a little bit now that I know who's here and who's coming back.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be a little more emphasis, and I know you'll love this, there'll be more emphasis on fitness
Oh,
and some
great.
plyometric training. Oh, great.
I'm ready.
You say that like you're happy. But we'll be doing a lot of fitness and plyometric work to do tennis-specific fitness. I think there's going to be more work with specific groups, meaning we'll be doing some separate sessions with the singles players. We'll be doing some separate sessions with the doubles players, so it'll be specific. We don't have a lot of court space because we
Yeah.
usually practice at the same time as the boys.
Boys, yes.
So having 3 courts and having a large roster can sometimes be challenging. But you know, we're going to have a different warm-up routine. We're going to have some different gear. We're going to kind of change the logo a
yeah?
little bit more and streamline it. So there's some little things and there's some big things, but I think they're all things that are going to help the program go to the next level. And they're not going to. It's not going to be like a shock to the system. It's just going to be, you know, like an IV drip of
Yeah.
things. So
Sounds
really,
like you got a lot of good plans.
I think about it every day.
I know.
you
I'm
know?
excited to see how we do this year.
We're going to be very good. We've got 13 players returning.
Definitely.
We've got 5 starters of our 7.
Great.
You know, we've lost 2 of the starters that are going to be tough to replace are Kira Spooner and Selena Liu.
Yes.
And we'll miss all of our seniors,
Yeah.
but those are the 2 starters that aren't going to be coming back. But
Yeah, you gained a new one.
we do. We'll talk
Huge
about
one,
that.
yeah.
We have several players coming back, and I love our younger players, and we have several freshmen that are going to be coming into the program that I'm excited
Amazing.
about too.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that. I heard you got a homeschooled Bella Camacho to join the team.
Well, yes, and that's pretty exciting. Bella is from Wayland. Olivia Todd, who's one of our current senior captains, last year had mentioned on one of the bus rides when we were going, I think it was to Acton Boxborough, I don't remember exactly where
Yeah.
we were, and Olivia Todd told me there was this girl in Wayland who was this outstanding
Amazing,
amateur
yeah.
player. So of course my college soccer recruiting techniques kicked in, and I said, okay, I'll get her to play. And Olivia said, oh, you sure? I said, Olivia, just let me talk to her for 5 minutes, I'll get her to play.
And you got her.
And I did. She came and watched Olivia play against Acton Boxborough. Her mom was with her, and we had some conversations at the match. We talked a little bit about me and the program and what my plans were. I told her that I'm in this for the long haul, that I'm not planning on leaving. And there was some details we had to work out with athletics and the school. You know, there was some academic things, some hurdles that she had to overcome and figure out with her schedule. And there was also some aspects of her commitment and her attendance that she had to come up with a plan with me and Mr. Rollins to make sure that she could play. And we had to come to an understanding, her and I, with what she could do, what she couldn't do, what I was okay with her doing and not doing, to make sure that I could justify playing her in matches so that it didn't disrupt our chemistry. So there was a lot of little nuts and bolts we had to organize and some things we had to iron out. It's going to be worth it because I firmly believe she'll be probably our top singles player.
Yes.
And as a result of that, I think it's going to slot everybody else into a much more productive position that's going to help us win, because this past year it was our doubles teams, as you know, that really carried us. And I think with Bella Camacho now, I think she'll be able to anchor the singles, and it'll slot the rest of our players.
It'll make everything.
Make it all better.
Yeah, it'll make everything work out.
I can't wait to see it. And what I'm most excited about is seeing everybody's response and their reaction to her when they see her play.
Yeah,
that
I think it's
first
going to be fun.
Because I've seen her play, and there was a wow factor with me.
Really?
Olivia Todd knows it, because they've been friends. When you guys see her, it's going to be outstanding. I can't wait to see that. And that's always, as a coach, what you want to see. You want to see that wow factor and that excitement factor. So for me going forward with all the pieces in place, provided I don't screw it up, which I don't think I will.
Yeah, definitely
Knock
not.
on wood. I think we have a chance to win the state title. And I don't say
love
that.
to hear
I don't
it.
say that just throwing it out there. It's something that I think we can do. And I'm all in. If the players are all in and we have the team chemistry that I think we're going to have, we should be fine.
Yeah. Well, just hearing you talk about it, I'm already excited to watch us
So
go.
let's go. We can't play now because it's snowing out.
I know, next time.
Some of the
We'll
players
try.
will want to, though.
Yeah. So I know we talked a little bit about how you like giving back to the community. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and reasons why?
Well, my 9-year-old daughter, Olivia, has quite a journey that she's been on. She had a brain tumor when she was a year old, and it was cancerous.
Yeah.
And had chemotherapy at the Jimmy Fund for 8 months when she was a year old, and has since subsequently, at the age of 3 and 4, had 2 additional brain surgeries for something not related to the brain tumor. And when you go through that as a parent, you understand how important it is to give back, because you meet some incredible people that are angels that saved your daughter's life, and you want to give back. So we did do that. We went to the Jimmy Fund walk. My wife walked it with my brother-in-law, and this past summer, or this past fall rather, we were what's called a cheer team. Where close to the finish line, we gave all the walkers high fives, which I thought was
I had fun. It was a lot of fun.
Phenomenal. And I've done it with all my college soccer teams in the past, and I can say with 100% confidence that you guys were the best at it and the most enthused by it. And I know that we appreciated that. And I've always been a coach, Sarah, that feels like, giving back to the community is important, because we can't just be the type of team that we focus on our little small part of the world. If we give back to the community and you guys have a sense of that, then you'll do that when you're in college, and then you'll do that when you guys become employees, when you become mothers, when you become parents, and it becomes something that's inherently in you.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important life lesson, and that part of our program is going to ramp up. And that's one of the things I've got to do a bit. We talk about self-evaluation as players. Coaches, we do the same thing. And I need to make sure that we do more community service. And that'll be a big part of it. But it all stems back to my daughter's cancer journey, and her successful cancer journey, I should say. And, that really changes your life and makes you snap into place and realize how important it is to give back.
Yeah. I mean, I had an amazing time at the Jimmy Fund. It was so much fun, yes. I think also talking to other girls on the team, I think everyone enjoyed their time. I think it felt good to give back. And I think everyone's ready to keep going.
Well, you guys had a chance to meet my daughter.
Yes.
You learned about her, and you've got that personal connection because she did come to a match. And
she comes to some practices too.
Yeah, she does. And, I think that, looking at, knowing her and having that connection with me and my family, there's that additional piece of going to the Jimmy Fund and knowing why you're there, and
definitely.
having my daughter there with you. And you meet some incredible people that have a similar story that my family had. And you can see them all walk by with their, whatever strong shirts on. And
see what it means to them.
It really does. It's a great day.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing it. And that's something I look forward to every fall.
I'm excited to keep giving back.
Well, I'm glad you guys do it.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being here.
Sarah Rice, you did a great job. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys so much for watching my one-on-one interview. Feel free to check out the rest of our one-on-one interviews on Wayland Sports Broadcasting. This is Sarah Rice signing off.